Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 173. In Europe, we just got paid to drive our electric cars. And Tesla seems to be very close to the unveiling of the new refreshed Model 3. And Tesla really starting to climb in Europe and China in sales numbers. And Audi says, drive your ICE car if you don't like poor charging networks. Or just buy a Tesla. And I got to see the Polestar Roadster up close this week. And speaking of the Roadster, the Tesla Roadster is back on the menu. And Fisker gets its EPA range, and it is not bad. There is other EVs that get some really bad EPA range. And Lucid is trying to raise some more money. And we got a good showcase of how bad the old guys dealers are when it comes to fixing EVs. And BYD is setting new sales record, but they have run into a bit of trouble. All of this and much more on today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
So, do you get paid to drive your ICE car? I didn't think so. Well, I just got paid to drive my electric car. We always hear about how expensive electric car is, but people tend to forget there is something that is called true cost of ownership. Because an electric car does not need as much maintenance as an ICE car, and an electric car is much cheaper to fill up than an ICE car. The true cost of owning an EV versus ICE car is quite big. Like Tesla has shown with their new price cuts, a Tesla Model 3 is now cheaper to own over a 5-year span with 60,000 miles driven than a Toyota Corolla. I don't think many people are looking at a Toyota Corolla and thinking, boy, that's an expensive car. I can vouch for this, as my Tesla Model 3 long range will be as cheap as the true cost of ownership of my previous ICE car, the Master 3, in only 1 year from now. Because then we would have had the Tesla Model 3 for 5 years and have driven it more than 200,000 kilometers. Yes, we do drive a lot, but that also means we have saved a lot. About $3,500 a year we save. So over a 5-year span, we save about $17,500. Sounds like a lot. And it is, but that's the facts. With true cost of ownership, the EVs are getting very compelling. If you want to compare something like the Model Y that has a starting price around $40,000 with tax incentives in the US, well, if you're looking at other ICE cars to compare it to, you should look at ICE car that cost around maybe $25,000 if you drive as much as me. That suddenly makes the game much more difficult because it's pretty much impossible to find anything with the Model Y's performance, handling, safety, cargo space, software, driver safety assist features for just $25,000. But right now it is getting even better to own an electric car because more and more solar and wind are being built, so we have more and more renewables being part of our grid. And now the summertime is upon us. That means during the day we have a surplus of energy being created in, for example, my country of Denmark. And we don't have a lot of battery storage just yet, so we need to get this electricity used. So the prices go down. So much so that last Sunday and this Monday our energy provider paid me to fill up my electric car. Yes, you heard right. Paid me. So I got paid about $4 to fill up my Tesla Model Y and about $4 to fill up my Tesla Model 3. When has that last happened with your ICE car? Oh, never? Yeah, I thought so. And we are looking at some really good summer weather over the next couple of weeks here in Denmark, so I'm looking forward to having more days where I get paid to drive around in my Tesla. The more I drive, the more I get paid. Can't complain about that. And the more renewables we get on the grid, the more of these kind of scenarios will occur. But electric cars are so expensive. Yeah, not really. And don't forget, if you're looking for some accessories for your Teslas, I got a lot of affiliate link down below, like EV Base, where you can get this cool screen for the back passenger in your Tesla Model Y and Model 3, so it feels a little bit more like a Tesla Model S. And if you use my discount code BESTINTESLA, you will even get 15% off. So a win-win for the both of us. So go nuts, my friends. And EVs are rising fast, especially here in Europe and China, and Tesla is no exception. So we know what that means. ICE cars are falling just as fast. In Europe, Tesla is still leading the way as the best-selling EV brand in Europe, almost twice the amount of the Volkswagen brand. And yes, we do have most of the competition here, so isn't that slowing down Tesla? Not really. In Belgium, Tesla is up year to date 265%. Or in the Netherlands, they are only up year to date with about 959%. So that is not half bad. And in Italy, they are up 381%. France, they are up 114%. Austria, 159%. Czech Republic, 865%. Sweden up 145%. Portugal up 442%. And in my country of Denmark, Tesla is up 635%. But as I showed you before, Tesla has simply just taken over here in Denmark, as the Model Y is not just the best-selling car of any kind, but look at the competition here. And I'm not talking about EV competition, but any competition. The Model Y sells more than 3 times the runner-up year to date, which is the little Peugeot 208 that cost about half the price of the Model Y. And the same goes for the Ford Kuga that sits on third place, nowhere near Tesla Model Y sales. May was the 4th month in a row that Tesla Model Y was the best-selling car in my country. It is just the new king of Denmark. And in Finland, we see that the trend continues. Tesla was up 335%, but EVs in general are now almost 35% of the entire car market in Finland. And I have shown you charts from the UK and Germany where we can see the ICE car are falling as fast as the EV are rising. But I found another website that makes these charts, but for Finland. And here we can clearly see the same trend of the automotive industry. In just 2 years, it went from 9.6% to 35%. If this trend continue, it should be over 50% in just 1 year. Yep, EVs are taking over so fast here in Europe that the old guys can't keep up, and that is why Tesla is able to grow so fast, because the demand for EVs are much higher than the supply. And let me just give you a huge shout out to Roland that makes all of these charts on Twitter that I am using in my new show all the time. So thanks, Roland, and keep up the good work. But Roland also made a little chart about China. As we know, Gordon Johnson keep telling us about Tesla is no longer growing and sales are collapsing. Well, it was clearly not in Europe, as I have just showed you. So it must be in China, right? Because we are constantly hearing about demand problem and all the competition that is coming to crush Tesla in China. Well, as Roland shows here, Tesla is up about 87%, give or take a few, as May numbers are not fully in yet, but this is a very close estimate, so Tesla only up about 87% in the most competitive market on the planet. So, what demand problem? And Tesla seems to be very close to the unveiling of the refreshed Tesla Model 3. So the rumored refreshed Model 3 or Project Highland seemed to gain some momentum, as Elon Musk has just arrived at the Shanghai factory for the first time in 3 years. Last time he was there, he did his famous little dance moves and kicked off the deliveries of the Model 3 from the brand new Shanghai factory. So the rumors are that the Shanghai plant is just about to start production of the refreshed Project Highland Model 3. So that would line up perfectly with Elon Musk being there to reveal this to the world, and maybe we can get another little dance from Elon. And according to Bloomberg, Tesla plans to give an early glimpse of its revamped Model 3 sedan as part of Elon's first visit to the Shanghai factory in years, according to people familiar with the matter. Doesn't mean we get to see it, but crossing fingers. And Tesla did drop a video about that Elon visiting the factory a little over midnight to thank the team there for all the hard work and great achievements.
Thank you for being here late at night. I would like to just very much congratulate you on the amazing work that you've done. It's been incredibly impressive how you have been able to overcome so many difficulties and so many challenges. And I just want to let you know, it's like, it warms my heart, you know. And I tell people in throughout the world, the cars we produce here are not just the most efficient production, but also the highest quality. I just feel like there's so much that gets accomplished. There's so much positive energy of getting things done that actually, I think, will be very important, not just for Tesla, but also for the world.
And I do think this is a good timing for getting the new refreshed Model 3 on the market. Firstly, the way the Model 3 is built is almost old school compared to the way Tesla is making the Model Y today. So it makes a lot of sense for Tesla to take all they have learned over the past 3 years building the Model Y and all the improvements they have made on the production line since they built the production line for the Model 3 in Shanghai factory 4 years ago. So Tesla will, without a doubt, bring down the cost of production of the Model 3 quite significantly by implementing all the new techniques to the production of that new version of the Model 3. But not only will it be cheaper for Tesla to produce, but I think a refresh is needed as the Model Y is kind of taking all the attention. It is not like the Model 3 is not doing well. It was still the second best-selling EV in the world in 2022, but it did actually not grow in volume last year, but fell a bit from 500,000 units in 2021 to 476,000 units according to EV volumes. So not bad numbers at all. Remember, the entire Volkswagen Group sold 572,000 units in 2022. Only about 100,000 more than Tesla's Model 3 alone. But still, it is the Model Y that is stealing all the headlines, and now even mainstream medias are out writing about Tesla's Model Y becoming the best-selling car in the world. And I have no doubt that the Model Y will continue to rally up the sales ladder. So I personally think the timing is perfect for Tesla to get a little excitement back towards the Tesla Model 3. And if the rumors hold true about a little longer car with new front and rear design and a sleeker interior, I do think we will see a lot of excitement for a new version of the car that really kickstarted Tesla to become a force to be reckoned with in the automotive industry. So to get the Model 3 to grow again, I do think a big refresh is needed, not just the small stuff that Tesla continues to improve all the time every single week that not many people actually notice, but a big refresh that the world will notice and take notice. And also to get it to set itself apart from the upcoming next generation vehicle, so that car doesn't steal too much sales for the Tesla Model 3 as well. So that just makes the timing really perfect if all of this comes true. And if the rumors hold true that the Tesla Shanghai factory has the refreshed Model 3 coming off the assembly line right now to show to Elon Musk, we should see the new Model 3 starting real production next quarter. And that could really boost the demand for the Model 3 for the rest of the year, and we should see the Tesla Model 3 start to climb again, especially next year as they have ramped up production by then on the new production line. But the rumors is of course also that Tesla is building the same new production line in the Fremont factory, so maybe we will see the refreshed Model 3 coming off the assembly line at the Fremont factory as well, maybe at the end of this year or the beginning of 2024. So we should have a very interesting time ahead of us for the rest of 2023. Not only do we get the Cybertruck starting production, but we should also get a brand new refreshed Model 3. Yes, there is rarely a boring moment with Tesla and Elon Musk. And Audi is out saying to drive your ICE car if you don't like poor charging network. Or just buy a Tesla, of course. Or do as Ford did. But when a pair of EV reporters asked Audi's executive how it planned to compete with Tesla's supercharging advantage at the Drive program, they pointed to the 2 years of unlimited free fast charging on the fast-expanding Electrify America network that comes with any Q8 e-tron. Yes, there is a reason why Ford chose Tesla's charging network and not Electrify America, right? And questioned in details about the network's rising unreliability, with more than 1 in 5 charging attempts unable to complete, as measured by JD Power in March 2023 report. The executive suggested Audi's EV owners will do the bulk of their charging at home. That is true, but it misses the point, as Tesla's SUV can go on long road trips without the driver having to worry that a scheduled charging stop will land them at a charger that is dead or damaged or under repair. Audi's EV owners do not presently have that confidence. Audi's response? Our buyers have multiple vehicles, so they can always choose to use the gasoline model for those occasional long trips. They'll enjoy an excellent electric car for daily use. Yeah, a very good showcase of why Ford chose Tesla's network. It is fast, it's easy to use, and is the most reliable network in the world by a long shot. And Audi knows this and doesn't have the answer for it, as they have not built out their own network like Tesla and have chosen to partner up with a very unreliable partner. This fact alone will probably make a lot of people choose a Tesla or a Ford Mach-E over the Audi Q4 e-tron, where you still have to worry about road trip and range anxiety, and of course get less of everything compared to a Tesla Model Y, except maybe more luxury interior. So yes, Ford saw the writing on the wall. Let's see if Audi will ever jump onto Tesla's network, or if they will stay with the inferior network and give their customer a bad experience, not the luxury charging experience you get with a Tesla. Or maybe they just want their customers to drive ICE cars instead, as they put it. And it's squeezing the last short news topics into this new show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. Herbert Diess met with the CEO of CATL, Robin Zeng, this week. So of course that meeting made a lot of rumors of why Diess was meeting with Zeng. Some comment believe that CATL could get a new European CEO to lead the company's expansion in the European market. Others just think this is two friends meeting up. But Diess is claiming he is on a mission to shape the new mobility and stop climate change, so meeting with the largest EV battery supplier makes perfect sense. But Herbert was not the only one meeting up with CATL this week, so did Elon Musk and other officials from China. So it looks like Tesla is finally ready to continue expanding its business in China. I was at an event called the President's Summit this week, and they were sponsored by Polestar, so they actually had the Polestar Roadster at display. This is of course just a concept car, not a working car, and it will not come out before 2026, but still pretty cool to see the halo effect car Polestar is working on. And they do plan for it to do a 0 to 60 between 2.5 and 3 seconds, so not bad. But in my country it does sound like it will cost about twice the amount of the Tesla Roadster, if that keeps its original price. And speaking of the Tesla Roadster, it is now back on Tesla's website for pre-orders, so hopefully that's a good sign that Elon was actually serious when he said that they would finalize the design this year. So it looks like we do have some progress with the Tesla Roadster. And as I was going to this summit this week, I stopped at a Tesla supercharger I always use when I'm going to our capital, Copenhagen, which has 10 stalls, 150 kilowatt chargers. But Tesla was setting up another 12 250 kilowatt chargers, and I could see there was room for at least one more, so I think this will end up being a 23 stall station. Very nice. And there is also a gas station just next to it, and they are also putting up chargers, so that is of course very nice, but only for stalls. So good showcase of the gas stations are waking up and getting installed chargers, but still don't quite get how many chargers you need at a busy station. And Panasonic breaks ground on a $4 billion EV battery plant in Kansas. The facility will primarily supply batteries for Tesla. The new factory is expected to be bigger than the Panasonic and Tesla's Giga Nevada factory. Panasonic announced in February that it planned to begin mass production lithium-ion batteries for Tesla by 2024. I couldn't find the actual amount of batteries this factory will be producing, but we can expect 40 plus gigawatt hours. But it is not only Tesla that is teaming up for more battery factories in the US to take advantage of the tax incentive. LG Energy Solution and Hyundai teamed up for a battery plant in the US as well. That factory is planned to produce 30 gigawatt hours and will be ready by 2025. And Tesla was added to the S&P 500 ESG index, which stands for Environmental, Social and Governance. But as always, Tesla doesn't get the rating it deserves. Tesla still scores below average, lower than most other automakers and lower than oil companies like Chevron and tobacco companies. Are you kidding me? This seemed kind of corrupt, or is that just me? And the Fisker Ocean Extreme gets a 360 miles EPA range with 20-inch wheels ahead of its US delivery expected this month. So hopefully they have fixed the software that delayed the deliveries here in Denmark. So that is very nice, but it does do this with a big 113 kilowatt hour battery. So they have just put in a very big tank on the Fisker to make it go further, as that only gives it 3.2 miles per kilowatt hour, where something like the Model Y gets 330 miles EPA but only has an 81 kilowatt hour battery, so that is 4.1 miles per kilowatt hour. So it's not that the Fisker is very efficient, they just put in a very big battery. So it will also cost you about $10 to $15 more to fill it up, as it has 32 kilowatt hours more batteries that needs to be filled. That also means that it would be quite more expensive for Fisker to produce this car with such a big battery, so let's hope they can get that ramped up very fast before they go bankrupt once again. And another car maker that is bleeding money is Lucid, and they are now raising more money to stay alive as expected. Lucid announced a $3 billion public offering of common stock to raise money. $1.8 billion of the total will come from the affiliate of the Saudi Public Investment Fund. And Tesla is going to supply its Megapacks for a massive new $500 million energy storage project in Arizona in partnership with Strata Clean Energy. So Tesla will supply the Megapack batteries for the 1 gigawatt hour battery storage system. Now that is a big battery. In comparison, the biggest in Europe is 200 megawatt hours, as I talked about in my new show 2 weeks ago. And if you think Toyota is on board with the EV revolution with their new CEO, you are very much mistaken. They have just sent out flyers to their dealers to explain why they need to sell more hybrids and not fully electric vehicles, as Toyota has their 1-6-90 rule. That means for one long-range BEV, you could make 6 plug-in hybrids or 90 hybrid electric vehicles, and therefore replace 90 ICE vehicles. Yes, with 90 new ICE vehicles just with a tiny little battery. We have studies that have shown that people with hybrids mostly use them as ICE cars because they rarely charge up the batteries. So this is just total BS from Toyota once again, that continues to fight against the fully electric future. Of course, because they know they have no chance catching up and will be left in the dust. And Lordstown's endurance pickup truck just got its EPA range of 178 miles and has the worst mile per gallon of any electric pickup truck. It was supposed to have 250 miles of range with its 109 kilowatt hour battery, but 178 miles. I mean, come on, who is ever gonna buy that over the F-150 Lightning, right? I think no one. And Drive Tesla tweeted this: the ultimate Tesla energy Powerwall, a battery from a Tesla Model S 70D now being used at a home battery storage system. Now that is just very cool and a good showcase of batteries are not dead when they are not good enough for the cars. Then it lives its second life as a storage before it gets recycled and become a completely new and better car battery once again down the road. And BYD is making another sales record in May in China, as BYD sold over 240,000 new energy vehicles in May, surpassing 1 million for the year. So about 500,000 BEVs for the year, as that is almost exactly half of their sales, as they in May sold 119,603 BEVs, and they exported just above 10,000 units to the rest of the world. So still the king of China, but still have to show they can become a global player with high volume as well. But it is not just all sunshine for BYD. According to some Chinese sources, it does sound like they have got quite a few complaints about their new seal, and the rust problem are still continuing for BYD. So hopefully something BYD can get fixed fast. And one of my followers shared a little story with me this week about their service experience when it comes to OEMs and their electric vehicles, because he has this very cool BMW CE04 electric motorbike, and it looks very cool and is an awesome bike, as long as it works, because as he feared when it broke down, the dealers didn't know how to fix it. They have tried many things, and it has been in the dealer for a month now, and now they're getting some new parts sent that they hope can fix it. But the dealer near him in Belgium does not have the certification to work with high voltage. So now they have to send the bike to another dealer in the country. So as he feared, BMW's dealers simply don't know how to do this when something goes wrong with their electric vehicles. And the bike is only about 11 months old and has driven 17,000 kilometers. So just in comparison, he also has 2 Teslas. A Model Y long range with 230,000 kilometers on it with 0 visits to Tesla. The best service is no service, right? And the Model X with 160,000 kilometers on it got fixed some door handles where Tesla just came to him and fixed it, and a drive shaft also got fixed on another occasion, but the bill was still $0 as it was all under warranty. So when you hear people screaming about Tesla's bad service, I don't think they're seeing the whole picture. Every OEM, including Tesla, has all some bad service experience, but overall I don't personally think Tesla is worse than so many others. The thing I have experienced have been much better, and Tesla at least knows how to fix electric vehicles. And SpaceX made another Starlink launch this week, but of course that is hardly news anymore, because they do that all the time. But I saw this little video that visualized how many satellites Starlink had put up so far. Very impressive. And we saw a very cool house being built this week with Tesla's solar roof. And as the builder said, it was a revolutionary product.
So in theory, someday, maybe we could unplug from the grid with this kind of system, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have... when we install the Tesla solar roof at the Powerwalls, it's not hooked up to the grid yet, and we have customers that are already using it that are thrilled. And it's for the first 2 weeks, all they do is they stare at their phone. And if a cloud flies over, they show their production drops a little bit, but then it goes back up, and we get text messages about how it works during the rain and on cloudy days. It's really something that it's a perfect product that more and more people are adopting, because they're looking 25, 30 years down the road and really having that electricity independence.
Yes, a perfect product that has only just begun and will be part of every new home in the future. Who's going to want to make a roof that can't make free energy for them? Exactly, no one. And Volkswagen will add a long wheelbase 3-row version of the ID. Buzz fully electric van to the European and North American lineup in 2024. It will have a slightly bigger battery, up from 77 kilowatts to 85 kilowatts. It will have about 415 kilometers or 260 miles of range. Volkswagen do expect to come out with a 300-mile version of the ID. Buzz as well sometime in 2024, but I think that's the smaller one with a 111 kilowatt-hour battery. It can still only charge with 170 kilowatts, so if they put in much bigger batteries, I hope they also plan for faster charging. But most importantly, I hope they get some great software soon. I still think it's ridiculous here in 2023 to have a camper without camp mode, as Tesla. Maybe Volkswagen should ask Tesla for help. And before we end up with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my new patrons and members of this YouTube channel. my new patron Niklas Talberg, and my new YouTube members Johan H. Stack C and Really Tubbs. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this new show. Thank you. And a big and special thanks to Supporter of the Week. And this week's winner is Nico. I don't know how to say that, but thank you so much. Nico is one of my longest standing members of my YouTube channel, with 32 months as a member. Thank you so much, Nico. I'm blown away. Please contact me on this email down below so I can get your address, so I can send you your Supporter of the Week winner t-shirt. Thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. A little video showing all the maintenance you have to do to your electric vehicle after 6.5 months road trip through Africa.
So we are now 6 months on the road and it's time to do some maintenance on the car. Very important. So please join me. It will take quite some time, so it will be all the maintenance we have done so far. So we open the hatch and then we fill up with the fluid. In this case, it's just soap. And the rest we fill up with water. And then we can continue for another 6 months. So, heavy job, driving electric.
Yes, it is hard work driving electric. If you don't know who that was, it is a couple that is driving through Africa right now in an electric vehicle, a Skoda Enyaq. So if you want to follow them and see how their journey goes, well, I will leave a link to them down below. But that is all we have time for in this news show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps this video out a lot so others can find it here on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so don't miss out on future videos just like this one. And don't forget, if you want to become an executive producer, get news articles every day, Monday to Friday, the video series Becoming News, and access to all my research and charts and spreadsheets, and become part of my little exclusive club of executive producers, head over to bestintester.com and join with the members button. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support, and if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel and get your shout out on this show. You can also become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out and some extra perks. Hit the members button to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet all the news as it comes out and more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. Now it's also possible to support the show without buying anything, becoming a member or a patron. There is a link to donation options in the show notes. And also as simple as hitting the super like button. But going forward, I will be making more videos for patrons and members only. And I will give my YouTube members and patrons early access to my videos whenever possible, and make my videos ads free for members and patrons only. So don't miss out. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.